Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we've pulled together some really fascinating sources for you. We've got everything from, anthropology stuff to modern economics,
Mm.
all digging into one big core idea, really fundamental.
It really is an idea that shapes, well, pretty much every human society that's ever existed.
Exactly. We're talking about community, not just like your street or your town, but the basic reason we group up in the first place. So our mission today is to try and understand the mechanics behind it. Why do we do it? Let's take a second here. We want you to really absorb this main question because it underpins so much of modern life. Why do humans build communities?
Hmm.
Is it just about, basic survival, getting food, staying safe? Or is there something deeper, like needing identity or belonging,
Yeah.
shared ideas?
And we're not just looking for a quick opinion here.
No, definitely not. We need to get into the reasoning, the why behind the answer. What have evolution and, well, just practical living wired into us?
It's such a core question. I mean, understanding this choice to cooperate instead of going it alone, it's basically the engine of human progress, as our sources point out.
Right.
But cooperation also brings fragility.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off. So if you get the roots of community, you really start to see how our modern world is, well, both super strong and sometimes surprisingly easy to break.
Okay, so let's start unpacking that. How about we begin with a thought experiment? One of those kind of dramatic ones from the notes.
Ah, the isolation scenario. Yeah, that's a powerful one.
Imagine living completely alone. I mean, utterly alone. No one else, no history to learn from, no schools, no internet, obviously, no shops, nothing. Everything you use, shelter, clothes, food, tools you have to invent it, find the materials, and make it. Yourself, forever.
Total DIY survival mode.
Yeah. So just stop and picture that. To survive even, say, 1 week, what skills would you need?
Oh, wow.
You have to be an expert hunter, right? And a farmer,
Okay.
builder, someone who knows how to find clean water, maybe engineer something. Your own doctor, make your own clothes.
You'd be exhausted.
Exactly. It feels overwhelming because, well, we modern humans, we've kind of lost that general do-everything survival skill set.
And that really hits the first big point from our sources. You take an average person today, someone may be highly skilled in one specific thing.
Like a software engineer or a financial analyst.
Perfect example, someone super specialized. You drop them into that total isolation scenario. The consensus in the research is they probably wouldn't make it.
Really? That's stark.
Yeah, because they lack that generalized knowledge. We used to value knowing a bit about everything just to get by. Now our collective strength comes from deep, deep specialization. We've, outsourced knowing how to purify water or build a solid shelter. We cross the network.
Ah, the network.
But if that network disappears,
Yeah.
suddenly the expert, the specialist, is maybe the most vulnerable.
Wow, that's a paradox, isn't it? The more advanced we get in our skills, the more individually helpless we might become.
Precisely. But that fragility, that helplessness, it pushes us right back to the idea of community. Not just people living near each other, but community as a system.
Okay, a system, like interconnected parts.
Exactly like that. The economic studies we looked at really frame it this way. It's dynamic. People rely on each other's specific skills and knowledge. Every role, even the ones you don't see, supports the whole thing. And the key ingredient, shared goals. That's what gives it stability and lets us do more than just, survive day to day.
Shared goals. Okay.
Think of it like an ecosystem in nature, a forest maybe. You got the trees, the soil, the animals, the fungi. They all depend on each other, right?
Yeah, everything has its part to play.
Right. And if you take away something seemingly small, like the decomposers cleaning up, the whole system can eventually get sick or even collapse. Our society is
Yeah.
pretty much the same with jobs and services.
Okay, I like that analogy. Let's make it super concrete. The sources had this great example, the bread chain paradox. Sounds fancy, but it's simple.
But powerful.
Yeah, so bread, or, pasta, cereal, whatever. We eat stuff made from grain all the time. But think about the cooperation needed just for one loaf of bread.
It's way more than you think.
It just starts with the farmer, obviously. But not just the farmer planting seeds, it's the engineers who designed the fertilizer, the ones who built the tractor.
The scientists who developed the seeds to resist drought or pests.
Right. Then that grain goes to the millers, the people planning the transport routes.
The bakers, the people ensuring the bakery is clean and safe.
The truck drivers, the shop owners, it's this huge chain, and every single link depends completely on the one before it.
And what does all that specialization get us?
Amazing efficiency, usually. Lots of bread, pretty cheap, but
There's the paradox.
Huh.
It also creates this incredible fragility. if one link breaks,
Like a big drought hits the farming
or
regions.
a cyber attack messes up the banking system so truckers don't get paid.
Or even just like new rules about fuel that make transport suddenly expensive.
Exactly. Any single disruption in that long, complicated chain,
Yeah.
and the whole thing can just stop. No bread on the shelves.
Okay. So communities are essential for making physical stuff efficiently, even if it makes the supply chain a bit fragile, but making bread is already that complex. What about the non-physical things, the invisible
Ah,
benefits?
yes, because that's arguably where the real strength of the social network comes in. When you look at what makes a community truly strong and resilient, the sources consistently show that collaboration starts to replace competition. It becomes more beneficial.
How so?
Well, if I'm really good at doing X and you really need X and you're great at doing Y, which I need,
Mm,
it makes more sense for us to cooperate and trade skills than to fight over the resources to do both X and Y poorly.
right. We both gain more by working together.
Exactly. Shared success benefits everyone.
Oh,
And this collective system, it massively lowers our individual risk. If you get sick, you don't have to suddenly become a medical expert.
you trust the system provides a doctor, a pharmacy.
Right. Someone else is specialized in that, and the community structure makes them available.
Okay, this leads perfectly into a challenge for everyone listening. Think about this interdependence. Try to identify one specific job, one profession, that if it stopped for just one day, your community absolutely could not function.
Ooh, good one.
And explain why. Is it, maybe, the air traffic controllers? The people keeping the power grid running?
Or maybe something less obvious, like sanitation workers.
Exactly. It forces you to see how tangled up our lives are, how dependent we are on these specialized roles.
And thinking about those roles shifts us again from just physical stuff to security and that sense of belonging.
Security, okay, like police and fire departments.
That's the physical security, yes.
Yeah.
Formal structures, police, fire, healthcare systems, they protect our bodies, our property.
Right.
Very important.
But you said belonging to.
Yes. And maybe this is even more vital. The emotional and social safety net. That feeling that you belong somewhere, that people have empathy, that there's trust.
You can't really put a price on that, can you? Knowing your neighbors might look out for you or that there are systems to help if you fall on hard times.
Precisely. It's the social fabric.
So this mix of protection, the formal stuff, and care, the informal relationships, it brings up a really interesting tension, another point from the sources for you to chew on.
The rules versus relationships dilemma.
Yeah. When it comes to a functioning community, what matters more? The formal rules and protection systems or the informal relationships and mutual care?
It's tough because you need both.
Right. Rules give you predictable safety, like the fire department will show up because that's the protocol.
But relationships give you adaptive care. Your neighbor checks on you in a power outage because they actually know you and care.
It's a balance. Too many rigid rules can stifle those helpful relationships. But too few relationships, and maybe the rules don't mean much in practice. Defending one over the other really makes you think about the trade-offs.
And stepping back even further, if you imagine cooperation just vanishing completely, the cost is astronomical. It's not just that things wouldn't get made.
What else happens?
Well, the notes highlight an intellectual collapse almost, like entropy. No way to share knowledge effectively, no organized leadership, no way to tackle big problems together. Innovation just stops, dead in its tracks.
Stops completely.
Think about it historically. Major human advancements, calculus, the printing press, vaccines, microchips, they always build on knowledge passed down and refined by groups over time. You need other people to test your ideas, point out your mistakes, share resources, and spread the word when something actually works.
So being alone isn't just physically dangerous.
It's intellectually stagnant. You can't really build anything new or complex by yourself, starting from zero every single time.
Okay, let's make that dependence really hit home. We have this activity from the sources called the hidden web. Let's try it with, say, your smartphone.
Ah, good one. Ubiquitous.
Right, you use it constantly, but take a minute and try to trace the hidden community that makes it possible. It's absolutely massive.
Way beyond just the workers in the factory that assembled it.
Oh yeah, think bigger. Who runs the giant data centers, maybe in Iceland or somewhere, that store all your cloud stuff?
Who negotiated the international trade agreements that let the rare earth minerals get from a mine in, say, Africa or South America to a processing plant in Asia?
Who maintains the power grids that let you charge it? Who set the safety standards so it doesn't catch fire?
Who collects the e-waste when you finally get rid of it? Landfill workers, recycling specialists,
It just goes on and on. It shows this constant invisible work being done by hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of specialized people.
quiet experts in their own little piece of the puzzle.
And they all rely on the same community systems: transport, finance, communication, rules that we've been talking about.
And that realization is really the core takeaway, I think. Community isn't just a nice extra. It's not optional. It's the fundamental mechanism we use for survival, for progress, for everything.
Yeah.
If you tried to engineer a world with no community structures, the first problems to pop up, no clean water, disease spreading, no way to trade for what you need, they would force people almost immediately to start rebuilding those very systems.
Because we have to cooperate.
We're wired for it. It seems to be the only strategy that actually works for managing the complexity of human life and ambition long term.
Okay. Wow, that really brings our deep dive full circle. We started with that huge question, why community? And the sources have given us some pretty powerful, complex answers.
It's not just one simple thing.
Definitely not. So let's recap the three big discoveries we've sort of landed on today. First, communities are these incredibly sophisticated systems. They meet our basic physical needs, sure, but just as importantly, they meet essential emotional and social needs like trust, belonging, shared identity.
Absolutely. Second
Okay.
takeaway.
Second, every single specialized role matters, even the ones we never see or think about. From the farmer to the data center technician to the waste collector, each one is a vital link, and potentially a fragile one. The whole system's balance depends on them.
Nicely put. And the third.
And finally, without cooperation, without that ability to build on shared knowledge over time, human progress just stops. Innovation, invention, safety nets, they all rely on us working together.
So as you think about this incredible web supporting your own life, maybe just reflect on this last question we want to leave you with. It builds on everything we've discussed. How do you personally, consciously contribute to keeping your community strong and resilient? Maybe something you do today, or perhaps skills you hope to use in the future.
That's a great question to ponder. Fantastic thinking today, everyone. That wraps up our dive into why we build communities. Next time, we're taking the next logical step. Once you have a community, how do roles, rules, and leadership actually shape it? How do you make it fair and effective when everyone's doing different things?
Looking forward to it.
We'll see you then.